we going out tonight? What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, I'm reading my notes. What is up, you guys? It's Chase, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? I hope you're having a splendid day. If you're new here, hi, let's introduce ourselves. I'll start. I think I just introduced myself, but I'm Chase. I'm a hot mess, as if you couldn't tell from that minute. I can never get the introduction right, but I'm Chase. It's nice to meet you. Introduce yourself in the comments below. And join the Hot Mess Express. It's a train, and it doesn't stop. It goes full steam ahead, and guess what? Admission's free. All you gotta do is hit that red button that says subscribe down below, and then you're on it. You're on the train. Isn't that amazing? Okay, I'm getting my hair cut tonight, and it's about time. I haven't had my hair cut since May, I think, and it's September when I'm filming this right now. So it's about time. I mean, you can see it just does its own thing. It's about time. Also, my shirt says serial killer documentaries and chill. I can't say the word documentaries. Serial killer documentaries and chill. Whatever. Today, I'm going to just try to jump right into it. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I have to get my hair cut in like a few hours. I had to go to work at 7:45 this morning, so I'm tired. And yeah, so it's gonna be a super simple eye look. We're just gonna do like a shade in the crease and then a shimmer over the lid, and that's gonna be it. This is gonna be a quick look. Let's get into it. Let's just stop talking. Let's get into it. I forgot that I almost forgot to prime. I don't really know why I'm priming, since I'm literally gonna take all of this makeup off as soon as I'm done filming. But I'm doing it anyway. But before we get into the video, like always, I'm doing the album of the week. I don't know if you guys like album of the week. No, I don't know, but I like it because I like makeup, or I like music. I like makeup too, but I like music. The album of last week, this brush is like hard. Like it's like, that's like the brush. The album of last week was Little Big Towns and Nightfall. Yes, she is a country fan. She doesn't like a whole lot of country, but there's a few country artists and groups that I like. So last week's album was Little Big Towns, Nightfall. This week, during this video, I will be listening to Kesha's new album called High Road. I've heard the album before. I've listened to it before, but it's a good album, so we're listening to it this week during this video. And I hope you guys listen to it with me. So last week, we started our new little series, doing something a little bit different, where we sit down and talk about a monster or a creature of the night, honey. And last week we kicked it off by talking about the Loveland Frogman, or Frogman, or Lizard, or Frog, whatever it is. Yeah, we talked about that, the monster that supposedly lurks in Loveland, Ohio. I told you guys what the monster looks like, the history of the monster, like the sightings and everything. And then I threw my 2 cents in there and I told you guys what I thought of the monster. My hair looks bad. Well, if you're interested in watching that video, I will leave it linked down below in the description box, along with a playlist of every spooky Saturday that has been made so far. Holy crap, we're at 10. This is the 10th spooky Saturday. Who would have thunk? Not I. Well, happy 10th anniversary. I've only missed 1 week. That's pretty good, if you ask me. So this week, what monster are we talking about? Which cryptoid? Which creature? I hate myself sometimes. This week we are talking about probably like the second most famous. I wouldn't say it's the most famous cryptoid in the world. Like, this is the one that people, when they talk about cryptoids, this is probably like the second, it's like the first or second one that comes to mind. You already know from the title of this video, we're talking about the Loch Ness Monster. So I knew about the Loch Ness Monster growing up because I was a weird child who liked creepy things. And it's funny because actually growing up, I thought the Loch Ness Monster was the name of the monster, and it is, but I didn't know that it got that name from the lake that it supposedly is in, which is Loch Ness. Lake Loch Ness, which I had no idea. I just always thought that this monster was called the Loch Ness Monster. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Most of you probably know this monster as the Loch Ness Monster, but a few of you might also know this monster as Nessie, which is the name that it has gotten. I don't know how. I didn't research that. You come here and I don't know what you expect from me. You can't expect quality videos because you're going to not get that, Miss Thing. What you will get is a fat gay boy putting on makeup and getting scared for like 30 minutes straight. What is on this brush? So yeah, some of you might also know this monster as Nessie. She got that name somehow. I don't know how. Also, people assume that this creature is female. Again, I don't know how, and also kind of rude to assume her gender like that. So most people who have seen the monster, have seen Nessie, describe her as being long and thin with sleek, rubbery skin that is blackish and gray in color, which is again not what... If you can't tell by now, I did not know really much about this monster going into research. I thought that Nessie was like a green. I don't know why, I just always was like, she's green. You know why? It's probably because of that Scooby-Doo movie, Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. That's probably why. Nessie is said to be about 20 feet long, which is pretty freaking long. You figure, by comparison, the Frogman was only 4 feet tall, and Nessie is like 20 feet long. That's, I'm just saying, she's a big bitch. She's described to have a tail and have a snake-like head. That's the most popular description of her. But other people have said that she has a horse-shaped head. Something I found when researching the Loch Ness Monster is that a lot of people have seen it, but it seems to change within each sighting. Like something changes. Some people say that Nessie is green with black humps on her back. Others say she doesn't have a tail. Some say that she has one or more sets of paddles, which I assume are like fins, fins. What was that? And others say that she does not have paddles, but she has little stumpy legs. So it seems like it changes with each sighting, something changes. But for the most part, they say that she has rubbery skin, she has a snake-like head, blackish gray coloring, and she has stumpy legs. Okay, you know, not me sitting here blending out this eyeshadow for 13 minutes when I'm literally, after I'm done here, I might go show my mom and then I'm going to take it off. That's embarrassing. I just blended this eyeshadow for a whole 3 minutes while listening to a whole song. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Loch Ness before I talk to you about Nessie, because if you're like me, I had no idea what Loch Ness was. So I just have a few things to talk about. It's a lake, which, again, I literally had no clue. I didn't know what a loch was. So a loch is just a lake. It is a lake in the Highland Council area in Scotland. It's, I forget how long they said. It is only a short drive from Edinburgh. I didn't write down how long of a drive, but I remember watching a video and they said it was pretty close to Edinburgh, which is the capital in Scotland. The Loch Ness is 788 feet deep. And when I first heard that, I thought it was 78 feet deep. No, it's 788 feet deep. And it's also 23 miles long. So the Loch Ness is also the largest volume of fresh water in Great Britain. So the Loch Ness Monster has been around for quite a while, and reports actually started back in ancient times. So it's not something that is brand new. Like, people were reporting this beast all the way back in ancient times. The first known recorded sighting was found on cave drawings that people did, and they said they saw a beast with flippers in the Loch Ness. And that is the first recorded sighting of Nessie. there was another sighting of Nessie that was pretty early on in history. It was 565 AD, and in reports found from, I believe it was like a journal, it was some writing from someone, but he was talking about how swimmers in the Loch Ness were attacked by a beast or a monster of some sort, and then someone called to it or yelled at it and like scared it off. So even though there were a bunch of reports of Nessie, of the Loch Ness monster, way before our time and before modern technology and a long time ago, Nessie didn't start gaining popularity until the 1930s, and that is when a bunch of sightings started coming in of this beast, and it kind of became a pop culture phenomenon. Okay, so I am real quick. Like I said, this is it. This is what you get today. Love it or list it. I'm going to throw on some mascara real quick, and I will be right back to start talking about the sightings of Nessie. Y'all, I'm like just now for the first time really sitting down and listening to High Road. It's like the old Kesha, but new. Like I've listened to the album, but I haven't like listened to the album, you know? So, like I said, in the 1930s is when the legend of the Loch Ness Monster really started gaining popularity, and it helped that a road was built around the Loch Ness in 1933. That way it could be like a lookout point. People could drive there and just look at Loch Ness. And it's a really pretty view. I'll throw up some pictures actually. I forgot to do that earlier. I'll throw up some pictures of Loch Ness. So the first sighting that kind of kicked off the legend and pop culture icon, dare I say, that we know today was April of 1933, when a couple was driving on a road, that same road I just talked about in Loch Ness, when they saw a beast that they described as a dragon or some sort of prehistoric monster, and it crossed their car's path and then disappeared into the Loch Ness. And after the media got a hold of that story, girl, it was over. And the Loch Ness became known as the loch with the monster in it. So after that incident, people started flocking to Loch Ness. I'm talking tourists, locals, monster hunters. Everyone and their mother wanted to see this beast that supposedly lived in the Loch Ness. And they wanted to prove its existence because a lot of people didn't really believe that there was a monster in the Loch Ness. They just kind of were like, oh, okay, it's probably the drugs. Allegedly. I should also say right now that I'm not telling you every single sighting of the monster. There are a lot. On the Wikipedia article alone, there's at least 10, if not more. There's a lot of them. So I'm just telling you the ones that stood out to me, the most famous ones. If you want to go do your own research, I recommend that highly. I always do. I always think you should go do your own research, fact check me, make sure I'm getting things right. If I'm not, comment them. Just because I'm human and I mess up a lot. So in 1934, just a year after the very first sighting, the most famous sighting of Nessie or the Loch Ness Monster happened. And this one is the one that people still talk about to this day. I'm sure when you think of the Loch Ness Monster, you think of this sighting, this experience, this picture. So it happened April 19th of 1934. An English physician named Robert Kenneth photographed the monster. And this picture has since become known as the surgeon's photograph. Why? Well, that's a good question that I don't have the answer to. I have no idea. I will throw up the picture now. Anyway, when you think of the Loch Ness Monster, I'm sure you all think of that picture. it's become one of the most famous pictures of the Loch Ness Monster to date. This picture was sent to and printed in the Daily Mail, and that kind of put the nail in the coffin, sealed the deal. It sparked an international sensation of trying to find this monster, and that is what really put Loch Ness and this monster in pop culture. So now some people don't think that the Loch Ness Monster is a monster at all. And look how... I apologize in advance because this is not how you pronounce it. They speculate it's a Plesiosaurus? Plesiosaur. That sounds right to me. So a plesiosaur, that's how I've decided it's pronounced, was a marine reptile that went extinct 65.5 million years ago, or so scientists and researchers thought. But a lot of people, after seeing that picture, the surgeon's picture, and seeing other pictures and hearing the sightings, speculated that it could be this creature, and that maybe a few of them were still alive in the Loch Ness. So Robert Kenneth, I say so a lot in these videos. Anyway, Robert Kenneth was on that road that they had built, and he was looking out at Lake Loch Ness when he saw this creature, and he took 2 pictures. And the one is kind of famous, but it's really blurry, and it looks like it's a hump, and like it's a hump, and then you can see the neck of the monster in the lake. But the second one is the most famous, which is, or it's, I think it was actually the first one they took, but it's the second one I'm talking about right now. Neither here nor there. That's when that became the most famous one because of how clear this picture is of the monster. So because of the surgeon's photo, this attracted even more monster hunters to the area because they thought, you know, if this person who isn't even a monster hunter can catch this beast, then we should be able to, no problem. And this started a new trend at Loch Ness, which was these monster hunters using sonar exploration to hunt for Nessie. Now, most of these did prove unsuccessful with little or no findings. There were some that did catch stuff, and I believe I wrote down one. We're going to talk about one that people did actually find, and it was kind of hard to discredit. Another very famous example of evidence of the Loch Ness Monster, was that a correct sentence? Was that English? Is that how you English? It was the Taylor film, which was filmed in 1938 by South African tourist G.E. Taylor. So Taylor was at the Loch just visiting, and I don't even know if he was there looking for the monster or not. He was just a tourist in I almost said Scottsdale. What? Scottsdale, Arizona? Who? In Scotland, when he filmed a 3-minute video of something in the Loch that many people believed to be Nessie. He described it as a floating object, and he wasn't sure what it was. And that was, I believe, and still is, the longest piece of evidence of the Loch Ness Monster. I couldn't find the video. I didn't look super hard. I will not tell a lie. But I wasn't able to find it, but it also is from the late 30s. If anyone else can find it out there, please link it down below in the comments. I'd love to see it. So like I said, a lot of monster hunters flocked to the Loch Ness to try to find any evidence of the Loch Ness Monster's existence. And a lot of people did sonar readings of the Loch Ness. Most of them were unsuccessful and they came up with nothing. However, there was one in 1954. It was December, and these people took out a fishing boat called Rival 3, and they were doing sonar readings of the Loch Ness, and they noted a large object that was keeping pace with their boat. So this thing had to be going pretty fast to be keeping up and going the same speed as this boat. And the object was at a depth of 479 feet. And at one point, they did lose the object, only for it to reappear a few minutes later in the sonar reading. And that was one of the only sonar readings that was captured where people didn't know how to explain it away. And they were like, well, that might be good evidence. Oh my God, my skin. I'm having an eczema breakout, and this is why I sit far back, so that way you can't see it, but I can see it right around here. And it's not looking cute. She's looking dry. Another damning piece of evidence. I thought that was quite funny. Another piece of evidence that a lot of people think is real proof of the Loch Ness Monster was the Holmes video that was filmed on May 26, 2007. So 55-year-old I can't do bronzer and talk at the same time. Is that weird? So 55-year-old laboratory technician Gordon Holmes was at the Loch visiting, and he was filming the Loch Ness, taking pictures and everything, when he filmed, quote, this jet black thing about 14 meters, which is 46 feet long, moving fairly fast in the water. So he pulled out his camera and he started recording it. And just like last week, I couldn't figure out how to get the video into this video, but I was able to use my brain, which I don't do a whole lot of the time, and I decided to take some screenshots of the video. I'm gonna insert those now so you can see those screenshots. So many people, after seeing that video, the skeptics of the Loch Ness Monster, I should say, said that it quite possibly could just be an otter, a seal, or something called a water bird, which I don't know what that is. But I can see that, honestly. I can see it just being like an otter or something, but also it's really big. And I don't think that otters or seals get that big. So it's just interesting. It's an interesting video that no one has really been able to describe or figure out what it really is. Something else I forgot to mention about the surgeon's photograph. Now, for 60 years, that was like the biggest proof of the Loch Ness Monster. And whenever anyone would say, well, it's not real, people would say, well, about this picture. Until I think it was 1994. I don't know why. I didn't write any of this down. But I think it was in 1994. It was deemed a hoax. I don't think the guy who actually took the picture ever said like, yes, it's a hoax, but a lot of people went out trying to recreate this picture and they were successful at recreating it. So now that picture is deemed a hoax, so take that what you will. Other people say it's not a hoax. I think I read somewhere, but don't quote me on it, that this guy that took the picture said like, it's not a hoax. But other people are like, no, Sister Lou, it's a hoax. One of the most recent sightings of the Loch Ness Monster was in April 19th of 2014. Apple Maps was, oh God, look at that highlight, honey. Like glass on your face, yeah! But April 19th, 2014, Apple Maps went around and they did like satellite images of everything. Y'all know, kind of like Google Maps, the same thing. But on April 19th of 2014, people found a satellite image of the Loch Ness on Apple Maps and saw what they think is the Loch Ness Monster just below the surface. It's a creature that appears to be 98 feet long. I will throw in the screenshot here, the picture. It's something. It's definitely something. And skeptics had a hard time disproving this one. The thing that they came up with was that it is just a wake from a boat, and the boat isn't there because of the image stitching. And for some reason, it's just not there. If you don't know what the wake of a boat is, because I didn't know either, the wake of a boat is the ripples that it leaves behind. When the boat goes, there's like a ripple thing. That's what a wake is. That one, again, it's because the picture, I don't know, it's just weird. even skeptics had a hard time kind of disproving that one. It's probably the hardest one to disprove out of all of them. And the most recent sighting of the Loch Ness Monster was in 2018, just a few years ago. Someone captured a picture of what they believe to be the Loch Ness Monster. However, it was widely deemed a hoax. Someone took a picture of the Loch Ness and they think that they just photoshopped and edited this monster into the picture. So most people think it's a hoax, but maybe it was a sighting. I am going to real quick do my lower lash line, and I mean real quick, and I'll be back. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the show MonsterQuest. It was on something. I have seen it on YouTube. There's a full episode from the History Channel called Death of the Loch Ness. I will link it down below if you want to go watch it. It's very interesting. This researcher named Robert Rines had an experience where he saw the Loch Ness Monster in the Loch Ness, and ever since then he's been trying to prove its existence, and he believed that there was a creature in the loch named Nessie or whatever, you know, but that she has since died, and that they were using sonar evidence and everything to look for the corpse at the bottom of the lake. I mean, that's plausible. That could be possible. You never know. So now is the time. I've told you the description, the history. I've told you a few sightings. There's quite a bit more. What do I think? Do you care? Probably not, but I'm here to tell you anyway. So do I think the Loch Ness Monster or Nessie is real? Or do you think it's a hoax? Going into this video, I was a hard no. I was like, there's not a monster in Loch Ness. It's a hoax. It's something people have made up, and as interesting of a story as it is, it's not real. However, after doing my research and really like diving into this monster, I'm not a hard yes, but I'm also not a hard no anymore. Do I think there's this monster in Loch Ness that is a creature and it's just a monster and it's... No, I don't think that. But do I think it's possible that there is an animal or a mammal, whatever you have it, that we thought went extinct and actually didn't, or that we just don't know exist yet? I don't think that's super hard to believe. There are so many creatures and animals and fish and everything that we... Like, take the ocean, for example. There are so many things in the ocean that we have yet to discover exist. I don't think it's too hard to believe or to say that there is a creature, or there was a creature in the Loch Ness that we just didn't know existed, and so we just called it a monster. And I also don't think it's too hard to believe that it has since died, and that's why sightings of it have pretty much went away or are non-existent. That's my 2 cents, but what's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Loch Ness Monster is real? Do you think it's an actual monster? Do you think it's all a hoax? What do you think? Let me know down below. I would love to hear it. Please like this video, give it one of those big thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Become a part of the Hot Mess Express, okay? And share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Ho. That's gonna be another one hit one day. I love you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I sure did. The lighting looks a lot better. We're still working on the lighting. I like this though. This looks good. This is better. Hopefully I can figure out how to recreate this next week. I love you guys. This is the final look. I love it. I'm kind of upset I have to take it off. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye guys.